Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gearries Esports Season 2 Pro League. I am Colin the Crow Clark, being joined by Jacob MVPR, and our next matchup is fitting to be a good one. We get to see the likes of the People's Champs make their appearance on the big stage, and they will be going up against a team who has our highlight player for this matchup. That'll be Noble, and we'll be taking a good long look at Toti and how he's going to be able to try to navigate this team to a victory.
Yep. And Toti, one of those players, it was at the time, he was a new addition to this Noble roster. And since he was added to this roster, the team not only propelled themselves to top 4 finishes within the Pro League, but they propelled themselves to great event placements in these major events, and Toti was a huge part of that. Like I said, a 2.17 KDA. He takes a lot of kills. He matches up with a massive amount of assists, almost like a double-double if you're talking basketball terms. So Toti, a superstar for this team, and if this team is looking for some success this season, it starts with him.
And we're going to get to see what maps Noble and the People's Champs have decided to wage their war upon right here with the picks and bans. And Noble getting rid of Asylum early, the People's Champs going and getting rid of Vaskar. But right here, right now, PR, I know what you're gasping about. We get our first look, I believe, at Reactor, PR.
Round of applause from everybody. Noble, they're my favorite team. They're the MVPs. I don't even care at this point. We see Reactor, and to me, that throws a little bit of a curve in a lot of team strategies. But I will say, what a better time to really test and play Reactor than a team that isn't necessarily our upper echelon teams, our elite teams in the People's Champs. They have a good core 3 roster, Profession, Siahz, and Birdy. But the last time we seen these 3 players play together on the same roster, they didn't have the best results, Colin. They did not. I do believe they went winless within the Pro League. So hopefully this team reuniting to create this core has a little bit of a better showing this time around.
They may or may not have a better showing, but we're going to have to figure out and pick the brains of one another, as well as our chat and our people of the place. We have got our predictions right here for the People's Champs versus Noble, and once again, they're going to put the pressure on me to go first. PR. They're asking me who I'm going to go with, and I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious. If you pay any attention to my Twitter and who I kind of give some love to and who I'm really appreciative of, it's Toti from Noble. Look, he's not just our X Factor. He's not just our star player for them. I'm going to pick Noble. I'm going to pick it in a 2-0. They're going to win Forge. They're going to win Reactor. It's probably not going to even be close.
I mean, I like the pick coming out from you, Colin. And I might even agree. Noble, one of the first esports organizations I got my start with. You got the coach, Jackal. He's a superstar coach. I worked with him kind of when he was getting his start. And then you have that man you just mentioned, the man we just saw on screen in Toti. And I know he didn't necessarily have a picture up there, but Abolics is there as well. They're a huge double slaying power, like spaghetti and meatballs that you go ahead, go together, and just really make the meal complete. So I'm really looking for them two as a duo to really set the pace for this Noble squad. But there's another player that got added during the course of that offseason. In case you guys have been living under a rock, in case you guys have taken a break during that offseason, it is actually Lava getting added to that one. So, I mean, I see the predictions down low. I know, Colin, you went with Noble. You know, I'm going with Noble, and I believe the chat might be going with Noble as well. Oh, my God. We're just like a happy family.
Hey, look, this might be one of the only times that Gears agrees on anything ever. Period. There's not even a joke there. That's just a fact at this point. I'm actually shocked that we got all 3 to be picked the same, but that just tells you the supreme level of confidence that everybody seems to have in Noble. And our first map is going to be Forge, and it is going to be taking place between the People's Champs and Noble. As soon as we can get that thing loaded up, we're going to try to get in there and get all the action to each and every one of you at home. PR, what are your thoughts going to this map? If you're getting picked against that heavily and you're the People's Champs, how do you approach this? Do you just go all-out aggression?
You almost have to go all-out aggression, because when I look at this roster from the People's Champs, and obviously they as players, if they have a coach, they can correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free. But I don't see big leader coming out. I don't see a huge slaying powerhouse that's really going to consistently throw up those 30 bombs. So I think this team is going to have to utilize what they have going for them, and that's those Wolfpack scenarios. So I sense possibly a big weapon on Forge going down up top, and this is where the People's Champ has to take advantage of those close quarter combat fights up top. You'd send 3 people, possibly 4 people up top. You win the initial. Hopefully that go ahead and trickles down to winning the round, but it's going to be a huge uphill battle for them.
CQC, the key to victory, PR says they're going to have to get into the faces of Noble and try to make them uncomfortable. Look, I also really love the pick of Alaba onto the team of Noble. Yep. I really think that was a great addition for them. Something that I think they might have been missing was kind of that back end IGL, that guy that can really break down the map and see it for what it's worth. As we all know that he is one of those former players from that old Optic Gaming dynasty back in Gears 4. He's got a championship mentality. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to get the job done. So I'm not very surprised that he's still finding himself around top teams and around top caliber players and talent. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup for me, because even though I did pick Noble, I will say that I have seen them have their struggles in recent weeks. They have had moments of greatness where I'm like, oh, they know exactly what's going on. They're the team of old. They're the Noble that kept having these great finishes and putting pressure on these top teams. And then other times it looks like they're lost at the wheel. There's nobody there. They're a self-driving car with no axle. You know what I'm saying? They're just running off the side of the road sometimes. I'm curious what's happening.
No, I agree with you 100%, but that really shows the tale of what this matchup we're going to see. If we go by my own personal power rankings, I do have Noble kind of sitting at number 5th, possibly number 6. On the other side of things, TPC, the People's Champs, they're kind of towards the bottom. So this is going to be a test for both of these teams. I know we kind of said it for Rise versus VQ, but this is going to be another one of those tests. Noble, a team, like I said, they've earned their top 4 stripes last season, looking to do it again. They have the experience, and they have even more with the addition of Lava. On the other side of things, a kind of young gun, undergrounds, people that don't give these guys any credit, even though they earned that qualification through the winner's side of things. They didn't lose a match, but they still have a ton to prove here, not only in the Pro League, but in this matchup, and it starts now.
And it starts now. Look, we're just waiting for them to get into the matchup for us so that we can go through that beautiful fly through, talk about that incinerator, talk about how everybody is going to go for that top button control. And, you know, we've seen Forge for a long time in Gears Esports. We've gotten to see it get played out many different ways and shapes and sizes. I'm still a big fan of placing that power weapon down at where that mid-neutral hill is in the first half of the map and that B side of the map where you try to get those pillar fights, those quick bouncing fights, you try to get somebody up in that top button control just to try to Lancer down. I will always forever. I mean, back in the day, getting to see the likes of Ghost Gaming just throw smokes and get loose back there and those back pillars was always a pleasure for me. I mean, they went to war on those sides of the map, and I just think it's always going to be one of my favorite fights to see unleash and break out.
And even though things did change a little bit coming into Gears of War 5, especially with the weapon placement, you don't have to kind of put those doubles on each side. You can kind of create your own identity. There's still that potential that we kind of do see that exact thing, that underneath those pillar fights or towards the spawn, that power position I'd like to call it towards the pillars. There's still all the opportunity in the world to make that happen. It's about which team will really take advantage, that which team will keep that in the back of their heads. That positioning is so important. If you're down low in the middle, you don't get cross from up top. You don't get cross from across. You can really hide in a lot of those corners. If you're in the power position towards spawn, that's where you really anchor yourself. If you're on defense, you make sure nobody else can enter into those pillars or at least enter freely. On the other side of things, when you're on offense, if you could really take over those pillar side and push the members back, push them deeper into spawn, that's really going to help you solidify those triple caps, those pressure setups, and so on and so forth. So when I'm looking at this match, I'm not only looking for strategy, I'm not only looking for rotations, I'm looking for those key power positions for these teams.
Look, and we'll only be able to find out who has those key power positions and who will have the right stuff to get map number 1 under their belts and who will come away with a map number 1 victory. As soon as we load in, we're going to see it, ladies and gentlemen, all of its glory. It is going to be Noble versus the People's Champs, and I'm very excited. I'm chomping at the bit to get at this one. They have been going back and forth. I think you're going to see some people on Twitter try to clap back. Hey, we finally made it into Pro League. We're nothing to be slept on. But there you see it on the side of the People's Champs. You know, it's kind of 5 unlocked players. It's 5 of those unknowns. We're not sure what we're going to see from them. But on the side of Noble, we've got a lot of names that we recognize, a lot of names that we are used to seeing. And right here, top button fight already breaking through. That's going to be Rocky trying to roll back. Gearries is already applying the pressure. Bronny's there with him. shots on. Bronny will have shots on the Gearries, but not have the down just yet. The 2v2 will be won by Noble, and that's going to be the early advantage to them as well.
And it's Gearries and Lava going up top, too. I thought we were going to see Toti. I thought we were going to see Abolics, but the player coming through. Have you seen Lava's stats last season as well? He kind of flew under the radar, not really getting enough credit for what he's been able to do for squads, and he's already bringing that over towards Noble. There was Siahz trying to make a play, trying to overextend, buy his team some time. Unfortunately, he did get taken out, and now Gearries in that pressure setup position. He's going to put some free damage out, but he's going to escape for free, and that's going to be the most important part. Make the people's champ fight for every inch on this map.
Gearries, he's going to back up to this mid section right here on this half cover. He's going to be trying to look out for anybody coming out of that spawn, where they're going to be able to rotate, get eyes onto them, and make it just harder for them to rotate around the map and try to get shots onto them, make it even harder for them to get into those CQC engagements that we were talking about earlier. Birdy's going to get called out. He's going to hop back over the cover. It looks like Bronny as well as Rocky have moved across the map. They're going to try to take over the home hill of Noble. There's the flash onto Abolics. Toti is there with him. They're going to push Bronny back for just a moment. They're trying to get shots onto him as well. I love what I see already out of the side of Noble. They've rotated over. They're getting down and damaged. They're putting pressure on the members of the People's Champs who have tried to push in.
I don't like that one bit. You saw on one side of that same fight, a couple players were trying to hold that. They were trying to defend their pressure setup. On the other side, I think is Bronny ran. He could have got some Lancer fire down. He could have helped that exchange. Then he gets caught in a 1v2 situation, taken out. This is the first round. Longest respawn timers of the game. As long as the staggering of death continues to happen, Noble will come out on top, and they'll solidify it in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. But that's exactly why I said it, called it. They have to be on the same page. And that was a first example. Bronny and the rest of his team kind of crumbling right before our eyes.
Not coming together and not coming to fruition, but real quick, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I just want to give a quick shout out real quick, just a hair quick, to the devs and all the people that help make the skins over there at the Coalition, because right here, live and in living color, if we can get our beautiful observers, I'm not sure which one it's going to be that'll have control over the initial pick, but I'd like to go see Toti real quick. He's got that brand new Halloween Kate skin, the zombified, or Lizzie skin, excuse me, not Kate, that zombified Lizzie. She's got fingers as a necklace hanging down off of her. It's just a beautiful Halloween skin. It's very, very, very festive right now. Very spoopy season, you know what I'm saying?
Did you say fingers as a necklace? I wish there was almost like animated skins. You add a finger for every elimination you get. You probably have 30 of them by the end of the match, but this one's starting off. Perfections gets taken down low. Started off by Toti, the man you were kind of talking about. And this is where they have that advantage down low. There's no weapon. There's no hill up top. Those players are immediately from Noble are going to backtrack and reunite with the rest of their team. And you see down low, it's going to continue rolling. Toti with the rest of his team continuing that aggression. Triple cap dominating. That was almost perfection in motion for Noble.
You know why they call it no man's land, PR?
Why?
Because no man should ever be there, and right now the People's Champs are figuring that out. When they're losing the fights in that mid-neutral and they lose it at their home hill, the people in the control tower, they're absolutely useless to the rest of your strategy. They're useless to help out. They can't rotate fast enough anywhere. And if you come out of the top of that control tower, trying to get from one home or the other, you're just going to get lancered down and taken out. And it's just oh so easy. But Siahz decides, hey, let's put a drop shot down. Let's try something new.
Yeah, I do like this, though. It didn't matter. They were losing up top. They were losing down low. So now they're trying to force a 1-3-1. One player going up top for a 1v1. 3 players in the middle fighting for it. And then that player down low. But those players down low, 7 and 2, they're not really fighting a 1v1. They're more so trying to lancer across and try to help their teammate gain any inch they can.
Now you're going to see Rocky. He's going to be stuck in the back of the pillars. He's going to go for the quick revive there, and he's going to get it off, but it's not going to matter to anything as everybody's going to get cleaned up. That's 3 kills for the side of Noble. Nobody dead just yet for Noble. Bronny, he's going to go for the up A, actually shoots over the cover. He gets a full brick on the Lava, but Lava knows how much damage he's done. He takes care of business. Domination being threatened. Here comes Perfections off of respawn. He's going to get the touch with that spawn shield, but he decides to up A right into a drop shot.
I saw that one coming from downtown. Did not expect it to be that perfect of a drop shot, but that power position in the pillars said no matter if you're offense or defense, you need to come out on top. But Toti is going to solidify that triple kill, get in the hill, force Bronny to him, and possibly clean up a fourth, possibly a fifth as well. Let him get it. No, Gearries and Abolics stealing kills, stealing a 5K, but Noble nonetheless, they're going to solidify a 3-0 mollywhopping of a lead.
Zombie Lizzie don't take no prisoners. She don't play no games right now. She is doing a fantastic job of being showcased by Toti, putting the pressure onto the People's Champs and getting a lot of downs and damage, getting a lot of help from the teammates to, not pad his own stats. I mean, he's getting a lot of downs. He'll get the assist column. He'll have the points to show for it. But at the end of the day, you always want to be able to look over and be like, man, I dropped that 30 bomb. I dropped that 40 bomb. Right now, he's like, I dropped the 12 plus however many y'all stole from me. So let's just give me a 30 real quick.
And we're more than likely gonna see the claw next round. That is one of the best. I got to see it yesterday for the first time in action. It really just mows down everybody in its path, but we have to get through this run first. The drop shot is going to be the prominent weapon on the map. We got a slow play coming out from Noble as Xysho is going to grab that mark. So he can facilitate a lot of damage before the push and allow one of these players just to land one crispy clean shot to get the down. But at first, Gearries going to get taken down. Toti is going to fall next. Perfections did get taken down, but if he survives this, he will have the drop shot. But that's Xysho! Xysho makes a play! Xysho gets two! He gets the drop shot play! Goes for the third! He takes out Rocky! And this is like deja vu of Season 1. The People's Champ are just coming out flat, and Noble is just taking out advantage.
That is a 4-0 round count. I look, if I had hiccuped, I'd have probably missed rounds 2, 3, and 4 right now, PR, all right? If I'd have blinked, you'd have probably been able to tell me a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I'd have had to believe you, because right now we're staring down the barrel of a swift 5-0, and the fact that Noble is probably a minute away, less than a minute away, because based on average, I believe other than the first round, it's been about 46 seconds average between 2, 3, and 4.
I really wanted to see the claw. I agree with the torque bow play too. I agree with it. That torque bow, especially if Toti grabs it, it's going to be a real deadly weapon. If Abolics grabs it, probably going to get headshots with it. But I really wanted to see the claw. This map's going to be over in the blink of an eye, and I don't get the claw.
You don't, all you wanted was claw, huh? Is that what you're saying?
At this point.
So already this round is elongated a little bit more than the first ones because not everybody from the People's Champs is already dead. But as I say that, we see the answer back. Birdy will have Toti down. Birdy will get rotated upon by Xysho, and now it's going to be up to Perfections, who's going to get taken down himself. So Toti, the only sacrifice to the gods in favor of Noble, or in favor of the People's Champs right now. Meanwhile, the rest of the map is being controlled by Noble, and you see Lava in a 1v1 with Bronny. Bronny trying to get shots on. This is a beautiful old school 1v1 domination being threatened by Noble. They've got one more to take care of. They get the down. They pick up the meat shield. 1 second to go. Swift 5-0. Noble take map 1.
And I really don't even know what to say on the side of the TPC, but on the side of Noble, man, I don't even know if that was a test. I said this is going to be a test between these two teams. I don't even think they were challenged. Sort of a warm-up map coming out from Noble. On the other side of things, we're just going to congratulate Noble on the win. I'm never even talk about the negative stats.
We're not gonna get into stats. Look, this is one of those what had happened was maps. If you're the People's Champs, all you say is that, and then you talk about map number 2. But that might not look any better. Off the heels of a fantastic map number 1 win, Noble now gets to show off, showcase, and show out Reactor. They pick it for everybody at home. It'll be our first real look at it. PR, I know you've got a chance to play it, so what are your initial thoughts going into what should be a pretty hectic map number 2? Because I'm not sure how much play time a lot of these teams have had on it.
I don't know much myself on escalation, just by judging kind of where the hill locations are, how the map plays. King of the Hill, it's a little bit differently, but once you get those setups, it's going to be really, really hard for these teams to break. It's a lot of close quarters combat, CQC, like you like to call it. So these teams are going to have to be on the same page more than ever before. It's almost like a different style exhibit of sorts, to where you have to have that close range shotgun battle. You can try to set up a strategy. You can try to set up to use your Lancers a lot, but with the way those flashes come, the way the utility gets built around the map, and the way teams like to play aggressive, it's going to come down to how well you maneuver in a pack of 3 or more.
So, look, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to come down to the Wolfpack, come down to how you maneuver. But for map number 1, it's going to come down to exactly how many highlights did Noble put together. Did they get an entire montage to put out? I mean, they may have even gotten enough to put out on Twitter tonight, because I think there's only, 2-minute, 10-second videos. They could have easily used that whole map 1 as a highlight reel.
Oh no, Colin. Oh no, and we're definitely seeing it again. This was one of the biggest plays. All he needed there was the quick revive. He had many opportunities to go ahead and get it, but Xysho quick around the covers, quick to get those up A's, and you see another example of it, quick to go ahead and back up his teammate. Same page, going ahead and solidifying that win. You go ahead and see the score, 3 dominations, 2 enemy teams eliminated, no score limit reached. They kept it short, they kept it sweet.
250 who? 250 what?
Hey, I had a joke for Noble yesterday. Knock, knock.
Uh-oh. Who's there?
Owen.
Owen who?
0-5. They didn't win a single round, man. That was just, that was horrible. I'm almost getting sensitive of deja vu. I went ahead and said it during the qualification process, and I'm going to go ahead and put the play on the spotlight. I said, I'm going to need the People's Champs really to step it up, because I was talking about that core roster. This team was formerly known as Orbit. They were winless. They went weeks without winning certain rounds. They go ahead and make this happen, another try at it. And honestly, I'm not convinced. You know, I got called an idiot for my predictions, but who's laughing now? But you got other opportunities to come back, though.
Is that actually a laugh, or is that just an exasperation? If you just give one ha, is that just an exasperation? There we go.
I'm just
There's
thinking,
a laugh,
which one proves the point more? A good hearty laugh or a ha?
Oh, it's always hearty, because it just shows you have no sweat, man. Like, you're not even afraid that somebody's going to retaliate because you're laughing with all of your guttural instinct. Look, we're going to move into map number 2. The People's Champs, they've got to come out on top in this one if they want to send it to a map number 3. Based on that first map's performance, though, look, I was impressed with the way that Bronny kind of elongated fights in that top control tower. That's kind of a nice little thing you can hang your hat on. It says, hey, look, we're not going to go down without a fight. We've got some fire. We've got some fight in our belly. But I know everything else looked around the map looked bad for the side of the People's Champs. You're looking for positives. I'm looking for positives. I think one of the things that you got to hang your hat on is Bronny is coming to show out that he's one of the better slayers around the league right now. I mean, he's able to elongate fights against the former world champion in Lava, who we all know is skilled in his own right in the 1v area.
Yep, and honestly, you're talking about some positives that we can probably look forward to is the next map's going to be Reactor. Not a ton of practice from what I think is either one of these teams. I don't know how much they even played in scrims. You see it in a lot of their tournament matches. It does get banned out, banned away, doesn't get any play time. So if they're looking to make a comeback, if they're looking to shock this team in Noble that they're playing against and really come back after that devastating loss, this is the map to do it on. You can create the meta, you can create the pace, but you have to start in round number 1. You can't let them begin to feel themselves, because players like Toti, players like Abolics, once they get that big head, once they realize, hey, I'm better than you, they are going to fly at you time and time again.
It might be too little too late for that. You said once they get that big head, they're going to fly at you. I mean, if I just beat a team 5-0 and it took me a whole hop, skip, and a jump to do it, I might not be able to fit through that door back there. That's how big my head's going to be. That door behind, I'm not going to be able to fit through that thing back there, man. I'm going to be flying at each and everybody. I'm going to be like, you know what? I beat you in less time it takes for me to make a bag of popcorn in the microwave. That is, you don't even have enough time to take a pee break right now. You on the back foot so bad. You going into map number 2 before you know what to do with. So I think what they got to do is really settle themselves in for this. You've got to try to pick off those power players. You're talking about it, Toti, Abolics. You got to try to single them out. Get an extra Lancer. Get some kind of cross on them. Put the down and damage onto them. Like you said early in map number 1, you said Bronny had a chance for a retake in the home-to-home department, and all of a sudden 2 people pushed up. He pulled out, and you're like, guys, that's Gears 101. We can't have somebody doing the opposite of what the rest of us should be. We got to have all hands on deck, everybody pushing forward, and that's the only way you're going to come away with victories in that sense.
Yep, and that really kind of says it. And so, you know, we're trying to like break down this one. Reactor is, like I said, it's one of those new maps. You got a fresh opportunity, a fresh slate. You got to forget map number 1 happened. But when it comes to weapon selections going down the map, you can already see they're not scared to put that big power weapon down. They just need to make sure they have at least a little bit of strategy around it. So if we're talking about Forge, I would like to have seen that drop shot go up top. I think down low, there's too spread out. You allow the team to kind of give different angles, different different looks, while you on your side, you may not have the strategy to back up that open of a fight. So on Reactor, there are plenty of opportunities to put that big power weapon down in a close quarter fight to where you can excel with the shotguns. It's just if you have the strategy, if you have the confidence to go ahead and do it again this time around, like I said, you need to put it in a little close quarter combat. Make those flashes mean that much more rather than throwing it in a corner and kind of hoping he's close enough to go ahead and get flashed by it, but he might not while you're pushing in. There's so many different equations that can happen in open areas that I think this Reactor is going to be their best chance.
Eliminated many variables as possible. Try to simplify the equation. Make 2 + 2 = 4 again rather than chair, because they were doing some math that I ain't never seen before on that first map. Look, Noble is well within their rights to have all the confidence in the world to come out maybe 5-0, the People's Champs once again. But the only way we're going to find that out is right here on map number 2, as we got word from the voice of God himself. He said map is loading up. So we have got Reactor coming to you live and in living color to each and every one of you that's probably wanted to see how this map plays out at those high levels, at those top tiers. And we've got 2 of the best in the world going at it. It's going to be the People's Champs versus Noble on Reactor and PR. Any final thoughts as we load into it?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I need Birdy. Birdy of all players to go ahead and step it up. We already talked about Bronny. We know he can bring it to the table. Rocky, with a name like that, I'm gonna need to see some electrifying moves. But other than that, I'm just gonna need the team as a whole. Like I said, you need a wolf pack around. You need to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Communication is important. I said I didn't really see any big glaring IGLs for the squad, but somebody right now is gonna have to step up and take that role over. Otherwise, it's gonna be a Noble steamroll yet again.
So here we see the load up, that brand new map, ladies and gentlemen, that came out here with Operation 4 with that beautiful Dom Santiago backdrop with the long shot slung over his shoulders. This is Reactor. We'll find out how these teams will take these fights. As you can see, the home-to-home stretch is on the bottom side of the map. Where is that mid-neutral hill? Behind the pillar. It's going to be a big team fight. It looks like Noble sent somebody to the middle to try to get this Lancer angle. I like that play.
You can definitely see a wide variety of angles here from that middle. You just need to make sure that when you guys are fighting these fights or are rotating around, that you utilize that Lancer angle and you don't get caught fighting behind any of these covers. But you talk about that home-to-home push. It's going to be Noble striking first, and they're going to be the first one to get the kill as Rocky picks up first blood. Or I should say Lava, but he gets traded out by Birdy, one of the players I asked for the People's Champ to really step it up as they go and flank all the way around into Noble spawn to try and break this hill.
Right now, the kill feed is lighting up red. Bronny last alive for his team. You can hear the domination counting down. He's going to hide and he's not going to sacrifice an extra death. He said, my stats look too good right now. I'm going to hang out right here. Wait for you to finish that triple cap domination. And once again, less than a minute long for round number 1. You take a look, the only kill for the side of the People's Champs coming out of Birdy. So the man you called out did come through with at least 1 kill for his team there in that first round. But once again, domination on the side of Noble.
So when this weapon selection does get placed, I do believe he's hovering over because utility. Utility is going to be the name of the game on this map because of how close quarter the combat fights are. You want to use a smoke. You want to use a flash to really disrupt the setup. Make them second guess. Don't let them get a lot of free Lancer fire shots. And that's going to be the answer back from TPC, the People's Champs, as they go for utility of their own. So going into round number 2, you already see the strategy coming out from Noble. They want a home hill to home hill stretch, a possible Lancer in the middle. On the other side of things, People's Champ are going for the standard home and neutral hill captures.
Looks like this time the People's Champs they're gonna change it up. Rocky's gonna throw that stun across, but there's the quick down as they go over. There's the hop over by Perfections. He's gonna have that quick revive off. They're gonna have control over this mid-cut area. And a couple of kills coming through. This is a much better start for the People's Champs already. Gearries is going to get Lancer down in the backside. It's going to be up to Lava to elongate the round. He's going to get 1 kill there on Birdy. He's got 2 more members in front of him to worry about, though. That'll be Rocky getting that first couple of shots on with a snub now from the middle cover area. Bronny will almost have this down. Lava has to just stay safe in that cubby corner and await for the reinforcements.
Honestly, if Rocky found a way to die right there, I would have screamed off the top of my lungs. Goalie would have hated me, and nobody would have known what happened to their headsets. But Rocky somehow, he stays alive. But there's going to be a retreat coming through from Noble. And on the other side of the map, here comes aggressive play coming from the People's Champ. Perfection's going to be able to get that first down. And pushing the rest of the members of Noble all the way back as they try to reclaim the home hill to home hill setup. And this is the same setup we saw Noble utilize to get that round 1 victory.
Birdy, we're going to be on board with Lava, excuse me, as he rotates over here. He's going to have eyesights on to multiple members of the People's Champs at the A hill. And right now, the People's Champs in the lead in this round, threatening even the B hill. Birdy in that cover. He's going to have to try to get one shot on. He's going to be almost full red. He's going to have another shot on the Lava. There's a trade out on the downs, but Rocky's there first for the revive. Abolics will get another down into Birdy, bouncing around trying to get a kill, but he's going to be down by Rocky as well, so that could threaten the triple cap domination, but the A-Hill has gone back in favor of Noble. But it looks like as Noble tries to push back across the map, try to make it from home to home, the Lancer fire in the rotation from the People's Champ is improved 10,000%, almost infinitely times better because, I mean, they didn't do squat, so 0 times anything is infinite at this point. So much better job by the People's Champs here in map number 2, round number 2.
A much better job indeed. You saw it was early on Noble trying to take the center position to try to get the Lancer. This time around, it's going to be the People's Champ, Perfections to be exact. He's going to try to hold on and get as much pre-fire damage as possible. Fate coming through from one of the members of Noble. Gets the flank on Birdy. Lava's going to go ahead and take him out, but took too much damage. Nice plays coming through from Perfections as him and Bronny work together to get another elimination. Flank coming through from Toti. He's trying to even up the score, not make it easy. That's actually a crucial shot on Perfections and an elimination. Perfections get caught off. Toti taking full advantage. He's trying to put a stop to the home hill setup, and what a stop he put. Bronny getting sent to the Nether Realm as Abolics once again picks up that kill on Rocky. So Noble, with their backs up against the wall, making the right moves late in the game, but they need to do more.
Abolics is going to push up. He's going to have some shots on, and here comes the rest of the People's Champs. They're going to spawn up in here. They're going to try to solidify at least one round on the board. They're not going to get 10-0'd. They're going for the 10-1 at least. I mean, they are not going to let them get this 5-0. Again, they're going to get that B hill under control. Their home is being threatened, but it is too little too late as they cross that 240-point threshold with nobody in the area. That last kill will solidify the elimination domination. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the first round on the board for the People's Champs.
You know what they say, Colin. You know what they say. The first round is always the hardest. So hopefully this is showing of what the People's Champ can really do here in this matchup as they go ahead and get first this time around when it comes to weapon selection. This is where I do believe we're going to see a little bit more utility go out, especially with the way they played that first round. A lot of Lancer fire, a lot of crosses going down as they made sure nobody really took a 1v1 on their side of things, forcing Noble into a bunch of bad spots. And you see the home hill push. We see almost every round from either one of these teams. It's going to be starting off with a smoke. And this is where I can see later on in the game, it's getting upgraded to an Ensign. You like that instant kill potential. So that Ensign eventually can play a huge role in this matchup.
And you're going to see the smokes there, the extra utilities in the spawn loadout. And I want to see if Noble continues to change up their initial strategy. People's Champs had a great reactive strategy. They changed things up going into round number 2. They end up coming away with a round win. They're going with the same strategy that won them round number 2. Perfections will go down. It looks like Xysho's already moved up, trying to put pressure on. There's the flash grenade. The back A will come through and get a down onto Perfections. There's the third down and out. He'll go down. So there's the trade out. 4v4 until anybody comes off a free spawn. Be curious to see how they rotate around the map now, as with that extra man being down, you're going to have to take care of your 1Vs and be a little bit better in each and every little fight you decide to take.
Abolics, so patient, literally so patient. You saw the initial, that's exactly who they were lancering. He made sure to stay near that spot. He knew eventually they were going to forget about him, especially with any offensive moves, and he waited for that perfect moment, and that is going to be the name of the game for Noble, waiting for those perfect moments or possibly creating them for themselves. You see 3 members pushing up, trying to be aggressive, but realizing this is not the play. They backtrack, knowing that People's Champ have to be offensive here. They have to break one of these 2 hills, so they're going to go ahead and try to set up for a little bit of an aggressive setup. You see players sneaking around towards the low side.
Lava in that top middle. He's going to be lancered through that big window. He could go down with a few more shots on, and he will go down. There's going to be an easy cleanup by Rocky. Going to get that meat shield. Get a shot onto Abolic with the snub. Pulls the Lancer, trying to get that down. They're going to get that mark out. Abolics is going to have to back all the way up the mid-neutral hill, going in favor of the People's Champs momentarily. 40-point differential between the 2 teams. Bronny's backing out. There's the flash. Toti trying to move up. Trying to get a back A. There's the rotational flank out from Bronny to get that finish. And now 3 members of the People's Champs in the area will get the P hill under the control. You You can see Lava has pulled back. He's going to just try to Lancer on and put damage there. Meanwhile, we're going to have a 2v2 with the home hill of the People's Champs. You're going to see the first down come through for Birdy. The revive comes out. Birdy will get that kill. Siahz now is going to try to move up, try to get the next one, but the Lancer fire over the top. I believe that's Lava trying to help out there, trying to keep Noble in this round.
Definitely trying to keep him in. You see the onslaught of Noble members looking like they're going to push up once more, but they're in fact just trying to make sure that they're able to safely escape Abolics and Lava, where those ones on screen trying to get out together. And this is one thing I'm kind of noticing on this map. There's almost no safe spots to stand at where you can at least get peppered up a little bit. As there goes one kill for Abolics. He gets traded out. Home hill to home hill push is going to come through for the People's Champ, and Birdy making the right plays, fighting for positioning first and then going for those hills, but he might have bit off more than he could chew. Takes a full spread damage. They're in the spot of Noble, and there goes the Brothers of Destruction. Birdy and Siahz getting taken out by Lava and Gearries.
And referencing the Undertaker and Kane here in the cast. I love to hear the wrestling references. Rocky, mid-cut area, rotating around, trying to go for those hopovers, trying to apply pressure. It's still only a 20-point differential. If they can keep the B-Hill decaptor even in their favor, Noble still has a chance to come away with this round. They have left Lava by himself in a 2v1 at their home hill. Not sure how you're going to rotate around the rest of this map. You cross the 200-point threshold, but with the decaps everywhere else, that's going to be all she's said and done for this one. Noble, they get round number 3 and take the lead 2-1.
You know, sometimes when it comes to this map in particular, Colin, I learned a lot from playing King of the Hill ranked. You know, Masters player, you get a lot of 5 stacks you're going against. And anybody knows I do a lot of solo searching in King of the Hill. And I learned a lot of angles. But watching this map, watching the People's Champs in general, I'm learning a ton of angles, how you can really utilize it. That's what I'm saying. It seems like there's very few safe spots that cannot get lancered. It doesn't matter if you're the top middle, you can get lancered while dealing damage out yourself. So you have to make sure your positioning is so important. This is where I always talk about that pre-damage. Some people don't think it's worth it to go ahead and lancer just a few bullets into the enemy team, but then that go ahead and propels you and ups your chances for either a one-shot down or a one-shot kill. But when it comes to weapon selection, you already see starting off the loadouts in direct to their players' hands or to the top side of the map. We got ensigns being upgraded from both of these teams.
Like that play call by both of them, the insta-kill technology, the insta-kill probability of those ensigns will definitely come in handy. You're going to see both teams go ahead and cap up their home hill. Abolics, he tries to slide into cover. He's actually going to get flanked out by Perfections. That was a good secondary call by the People's Champs. That's the second time this game they've made a mid-round adjustment to try to get this initial in their favor. Rocky is going to be down. They're going to hop over and go for the revive on him. Meanwhile, Toti here in that mid-cut area, that top building will get killed off by Perfections. Gearries is going to answer back, bouncing around, trying to get one more shot onto Rocky. He's not going to get it. He's going to go down. Siahz was in the area to help him out as well. Birdy will be in a 1v1 versus Abolics, but Abolics is going to get Lancer from that top middle, but I believe the top middle player, can't tell who it was. It was Rocky, as a matter of fact, has already rotated over to B, and they've left Siahz in the middle now to try to Lancer across.
That's a nice cross from the middle, but Lava doing a good job of being a distraction, trying to keep him guessing, but you can't distract for too long the position that he's in. They're just trying to keep a hold of this neutral. They're trying to regain the lead, but there goes a chunk. Xysho trying to return fire. The trade is going to come through, but talk about those angles. Talk about that Lancer fire. Xysho one bullet away from going down. He's escaping for a moment, but both of these players are being pressured. Siahz go ahead and push forward, tries to get the final kill, but he gets checked by Lava over that top.
Siahz, he's going to have to try to retreat toward the middle of the map now. He goes for the hop over, which he successfully gets for just a moment before finally getting Lancer down through those little cut-throughs. Alex will finish him off. He's got somebody playing Sneaky Fever in front of him. That'll be Rocky. Unsure if he's been called out just yet. If he tries to run head first at Abolics, I believe he's going to get called out. But Abolics, he hops the cover and damn near gets taken down for his efforts. That was a lot of good Lancer fire out from Rocky, but not good enough to get that down. Now Abolics is going to rotate over. He's going to try to help get that down onto Bronny. Here comes the extra Lancer fire, trying to get a second down and out, but it's just going to be doing a lot of damage. One more down on Bronny will be an easy kill here for Toti. The shotgun over the cover won't be enough to get that kill just yet. They're still down by about 20 points, and with the decaps coming through on the home hill of Noble, they're going to have to rotate around the map and try to figure out where they got to go to get this next wave of momentum back. Siahz has officially stolen the incendiary grenade of Noble as well.
Wow, Toti actually runs past. He gets the elimination. I like the instant separating Toti from enemy team, but he sits in the perfect spot to get those shots over cover, bounces around, gets that second one on perfections. Noble needs this late game push. They trail 20 seconds. They only have a 1-to-1 hill, so they're not going to get ahead off of one. So this neutral is going to be so important. But look at Abolics. Look at perfections. Last round of the half, they have no extra respawn, so these two players need to play perfect for their respective rosters.
Perfections is actually, I believe, pulled back a little bit. He's going to have some help across the top of the map. They're going to win a 2v1 over there. They're going to have free reign at the A hill. They're going to have Xysho actually trying to rotate over to get a break on the C hill. That could give them that hill back in favor, but this is going to get very dicey very quickly. Xysho, I think, needs to stay on the hill. He has to go for the cap here. He's going to get back on it. C-Hill may be going back into the favor of Noble here momentarily. 5 more seconds. They're going to get another round win. There's the decap on their own home hill. That's going to ensure things, ladies and gentlemen. And Noble will take a 3-1 lead going into the half.
That's exactly what you see if you're a fan of Noble. Obviously coming after a hot 5-0 victory. Started off a little shaky, a little rocky here on map number 2. It is Reactor, a new map. First time here on the Gearries Pro League stream, and we're kind of seeing it as it develops, and I hope we do see it more because I think it's going to be a nice team-oriented map. I thought we were going to see a lot of Wolfpack scenarios with shotguns, but we're seeing a lot more Lancer than I thought. As I'm discovering some angles, these players probably have practiced it more than we think. People's Champs probably letting this one slip through, thinking that neither team has practice, but you know, Noble, it's probably one of those tricks up their sleeves.
Agility given to Bronny. 60 seconds on the side of Noble. And one of the things that I want to make sure we have covered in this next round, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what Noble does with that initial, because twice the People's Champs have made rotations, twice they've made adjustments, and it's helped them win the initial. I know, granted, they're down in the round count, but those little mid-game adjustments can come back to bite you if you don't continue to make them and don't continue to pressure your opponent. Right now, looks like Noble went for a full defensive setup, especially here on the second half, where that E-Hill has moved over into a very wide open area, which is the opposite side of the map. There's no pillar to hide behind. Try to take cover from that midsection.
See Rocky with those angles. I see down low from the side, over the top where Abolics is at. Nowhere to hide, nowhere is safe. A nice cheeky instant throw from behind the cover. Birdy's able to get Toti, but instantly Gearries right place at the right time. He's gonna get that trade. A little bank off the wall with the flash. Return fire from Siahz, unable to land the crucial shots needed. Bronny's gonna get taken out. Siahz is able to get one, but look how much damage he took. Luckily for him, he is going to grab that meat, but Perfection's able to get Gearries, the reinforcements just in time from the People's Champs as Siahz started and ended that battle for his squad. But the People's Champs, they're going to need a decap on some of these hills. One hill is not going to be enough, especially with the amount of slave power you just put through.
Birdy's actually going to continue to chase Xysho here back toward his own spawn side of the map. Domination being threatened momentarily. 3 members of Noble off respawn, trying to bounce around. Perfections will have a chance to get some kills, but Siahz will shut one down. He'll be shut down on the trade. Lava will get Perfections. Incendiary comes through late from the backside, but it won't get any kills. It's going to be too far to even stop them from getting that hill back in their favor. So we're going to get to see them come across the map, try to get this retake underway. It's going to be 2 members of the side of the People's Champs trying to hold on to the E-Hill, and it looks like they're going to rotate 1 person through mid, 2 straight up, and they're going to have a 3-man retake here at the E-Hill.
They're going to need this capture. Noble still playing from behind, even though it seems like they're making a lot of the right moves. It's just the substance behind the People's Champs move, making sure that each time they get a hill, they're getting a wide chunk of time. But this time it's Noble with 2 hills in their favor, so you know the push is going to come through for the People's Champ. Great shots by Siahz. He's going to draw first blood here on this push from Noble as they go for the break as well. E looks like it's getting neutralized, so a double neutralization coming out. No points being netted for Noble. Triple cap domination sounding off. Toti goes for the save, gets the reset, unable to get the trade though. Birdy gets another one on lava, going for a third, gets a little help. Xysho is going to get taken down, but while all this action was going on, Abolics somehow, someway finds a way to position himself on his home hill, but they can't be content. They have to push forward because they're fighting from behind.
They're going to be on their back foot the rest of this round. They're going to need another miracle closeout round here to try to get it to 4-1, but it looks like with that kill, and Abolics just bouncing around home to home now, I don't believe it's going to happen because it's going to be a 1v3 against him. They're going to be able to Lancer him out. Perfections moves in. He gets taken down by Abolics, but all the way across the map, I believe that's Bronny and Birdy at the home hill of Noble. And all Abolics can do is continue to flash and dash around the map. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will make it a 3-2 round count. And the People's Champs are showing up and showing out. And another team, speaking of, that have shown up, Fire and Ice. It looks like they might have found something, might have found themselves a little bit in their first Pro League matchup, have officially won their series on our side station. So Fire and Ice getting their first win under their belt, joining the likes of Hive and Vanquish for this first day of Gears Pro League.
Ooh, Latin American region stepping up big. And that's one thing I wanted to see coming into this one. I didn't expect 6 Latin American teams to match the 6 North American teams, but man, was I given a treat coming into this Pro League and coming into this matchup as well. After that 5-0 map number 1 walloping, I thought it was going to be over. I thought we might have seen a 10-0, 10-1, but like you said, TPC fighting back with every fiber of their being. And I talked about the utility being littered around the map. That's exactly what we're seeing here. So when these fights do break out, it's almost with their stock weapons, Shoddy, Pistol, Lancer. Yeah, they have a little bit of utility, but after that, it's all done.
I'm going to be curious to see the first team to try to break away from the meta. Look, we've also noticed that a lot of teams now won't break away unless they're losing heavily, and then they'll try something to try to change the fight up entirely. Right now, everybody's pretty much made the same moves throughout this entire weapon placement process. Gearries bouncing around that middle. He's going to be lancered down by Birdy. I don't believe anybody's going to be close enough to get the revive off and get out safely. Gearries, I believe, is still going to get shot on. Perfections is going to get lancered down from that mid-pillar area, which is going to open things up for Xysho to try to get that kill. And it looks like 2 members of Noble are pushing across the map. Lava will get that kill there onto Siahz, which will give them the home-to-home. Triple cap threatening for just a moment. Birdies will have 2 incendiaries to work with, or have an incendiary to work with to try to throw. But with that 5th kill, and that elimination, domination, Noble take it to 4-2.
One step away from solidifying their own undefeated start in the Pro League, entering the likes of the teams you mentioned, Hive, Fire and Ice, and VQ. And this is going to be the start of what could be a very long first split, especially with how these matches are playing out. And now with this one, you kind of expect to kind of see the same exact utility that we've already been seeing. Flashes toward the low side. That's 2 more. And you think it's going to be matched by the side of TPC?
I think you're going to have to continue to match. I think TPC has found something in their gameplay. They've gotten a lot more kills. They've rotated a lot better. Yeah, they're just going to go ahead and match it up. They go, look, guys, if we can win a couple of rounds, we can string 2 back-to-back, get it to 4-4. We get the disable out. We can win round 9 and try to move on to a map 3. Because it's not like they're getting dominated the way they were in map number 1. It's just a difference of that initial kill. That icebreaker kill has usually led to a team getting that initial under their belt and getting a pretty dominant round underway.
So now this one opening up. Noble, heads held high, 4-2. Birdy trying to make something happen, but Toti was on his backside the entire time, not letting him breathe. So now a 5v4 for just a few moments. They're already putting that pressure on with the Lancers. Siahz, Perfections, all forced back, but it's actually forward they're going. They realize they can't keep trailing backwards. You know your teammates are going to spawn up. The reinforcements are going to be there. Siahz and Perfections once again working together to get an elimination, but fighting out more than he can chew as he pushes forward, gets taken out. So the lead's still going to go in favor of Noble, but luckily for TPC, they're able to get that decap, buying them some time. But look at that flank. Flank's coming through. Bronny sees it coming. Bronny makes it pay. This is their opening that they need. 3 players in front of him. Another flank coming through. Birdy, it's your chance to shine. Lava hears it coming. Gets a fire shot though. Lands 2 big shots. Xysho going down next. Turns and burns on Lava. That early damage plays a huge role in this exchange as Birdy not letting up off the gas. Finds another exchange. It's Abolics next and he falls all the same. A 4th member from Noble is going to go down. Toti making things happen on the other side of the map all by his lonesome. He's trying to prolong this round as much as possible.
And that's what I was talking about. Look, they just have to string together a couple of kills. They have to apply the pressure to Noble. They can't let Noble dictate the pace. Toti, though, shutting down Birdy with that extra movement and the knife after the down. Beautiful job by him setting up here at the E-Hill. They're going to wait for this retake out of the People's Champs to come through, and I think they might need to wait for Birdy because on the back of some spectacular gameplay by him, they were able to get that initial pressure onto Noble. But with him off the map right now, being a man down, not having him in that power position to play as that extra man in the fight to get those kills, you're going to have to wait to see what he does here. He's trying to get shots on and find out where everybody from Noble is before they make their first initial push.
Yep, that's maybe the most important part. And while all this happens on one side of the map, I got to look at number 3. I got to look at Bronny. He's down low. So if anybody rotates over, if you see that guy Lancering trying to help his team with these angles that can reach across the map, he has to make a play. Instant going out, unable to connect, but it does jump him off of that cover. Toti and Lava forced to reposition. The break is going to come through along with the capture from TPC, and that's going to change the win condition up top, but Noble has ample time, all the time in the world, to figure out which one of these 2 hills they want to break.
We're going to see Bronny stacked up here at the D hill. He's going to be looking over the cover. Gearries is waiting with bated breath with the flashbang out. He's going to try to get that stun onto the backside of Siahz, but he's not going to get it. Bronny now gets the call out. Back A comes through. Gearries will have the down, but no way he's going to get that kill. Too many members in the area. Rocky taking that cover and sticking to it will help get that kill. Siahz is going to be taken down. A good cross by Xysho, but it's not going to slow them down but so much. This is going to be a last-ditch push. 1 kill comes through. There's the jump off. They're going to have to break on the F hill. I'm curious. That is not going to put things back in their favor. Noble will win it 5-2 and get a 10-2 round count victory over the People's Champs.
And the People's Champs, they really have to re-look at their entire game plan, their entire strategies. Those strats, those pushes might have worked in the Challenger Series, but this is the 12 best teams in the league. You need to prepare for the 12 best teams.
Right now, Noble's proving themselves to be one of the better of that crop. They're choosing to be the cream and rising to the top as one of our winners here on day 1 of Gears Pro League. A beautiful job by Noble to get that series in a 2-0 fashion, and map number 1 was a very dominating performance by them. Map 2 had some faltering, but I think that just kind of falls on the back of something that we've seen throughout Gears history. When you have somebody that can pop off and make some brilliant plays like Birdy or Siahz, maybe even Bronny, it really makes things difficult to work around the map, but Toti was our superstar, as we called it prior to that game, PR.
And Toti's kind of been the superstar for this squad ever since he joined the team way back a few splits ago during last season. And realistically, that set this team apart from a lot of the other teams in the league. I do believe they skated by, barely missing out of the relegation process. You had Toti, you had Jackal, like I said, instantly moving up to the top 4, instantly increasing their major placement. They made a little bit of a roster change during the offseason, but obviously with a 2-0 victory like that, that roster change was the roster change that they might have needed.
And it looks like it was not I wouldn't say needed, but it looks like it's coming to fruition to be the right move for them. I know they had a lot of dominations in that first map. I'm pretty sure they had a few there in map number 2, but with a 10-2 round count, it doesn't matter how they got it done. They got it done quickly and easily, PR, and I'm very impressed with what I've gotten to see from Noble here in day number 1. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you want to go anywhere because our next matchup on the main broadcast is going to be Hive versus Carnage, and we'll get to that one after a break, but I got to hear your final thoughts, PR. What do you want to say to anybody that might be a fan of the People's Champs and those young guns?
If you're a fan of the People's Champs, if you're a fan of the young guns, don't fret just yet. This is just week 1. They have all the time, or I don't even want to say all the time in the world, I usually do, but they only have 5 other weeks to really progress as a team. This is just for seeding, so it's not over yet. After the Pro League, they will advance into our major, but they need to pick it up. They need to not have the same deja vu showing that Orbit did in the past.
Well, speaking of deja vu possibilities, we've seen Hive from their off-station broadcast here earlier. We're going to get to see them live and in living color on the main stage after a break. Take on Carnage Gaming.